For this video, I decided to build a gaming PC that can run both competitive and high demanding video games, and also a stream. This was hard to find, but I got it done. Make sure to stay to the end of this video to see how this performs in some popular games. Without more to say, let's start with the specifications. For the graphics card, I picked the RTX 2060 Super. This one is the cheapest RTX graphics card on the market, and this also will help us to play high demanding video games at 1080p resolution. For the motherboard, we have an MSI B360M. Like I said before, I tried to make this PC build as cheap as possible, and this motherboard is cheap, and I put 16 gigs of RAM alongside the i5-9400F. This is a last gen CPU, so what I'm going to do is leave you in the description all of these parts, but as well I will leave you a better CPU combo in case you want a better CPU. But I think because of the prices right now that this gaming PC will work perfectly fine with any video game, and you're going to see at the end of this video. And lastly, for the power supply, we have a 650 watts power supply. Again, you don't need more for this type of components. For the case, we have the Cyclone from Aerocool, and believe me that thermals for this PC were great actually when gaming, so the airflow for this PC was great. What I tried to achieve with this PC build was at least 144 FPS in every competitive game, so if you want to buy a 144Hz monitor, which is highly recommended for gaming, you can do it and take advantage of this. Now let's talk about the downside for this PC, and it's that if you buy the 9400F version, which is the one that you're seeing on this video, it will be hard to upgrade in the future since you will have to upgrade the motherboard. But other than that, I think this PC is great and it's at a really decent price for anyone that wants to start gaming. In terms of the ports, you have two USB 2.0 in the front and one USB 3.0. Another thing I forgot to mention about the components is that I picked 1TB of hard drive and 240GB of SSD. This way you can put Windows and one game on your SSD, and every high demanding video game that is not your main game, you can put it on the hard drive, so you don't have to upgrade anything in the future. Before going to the gaming and streaming performance, let's see what are the prices for this PC. If you get the RTX 2060 Super from Amazon, the total price for this PC will be $1,235. But if you actually buy the pre-owned version in eBay, you can get it from $900 to $1,100 total. And that's something to keep in mind. Another thing you can do is buy every component but the graphics card and wait until they are back to the normal price. This is completely up to you, but I can tell you that for $900 to $1,200 you can get this PC build right now and start gaming really well. And talking about gaming, let's go over and see how this one performs. The first game that we are going to be testing is Fortnite Battle Royale. Here we got over 240 FPS average really easily, so if you want to take advantage of a 240Hz monitor, you can do it pretty easily. Temperatures for the CPU and GPU in this case didn't pass 70 degrees Celsius, and this is great for gaming. It's not overheating and it's not causing any lag issues. So if you want to play Fortnite at 240 FPS average, this PC build is highly recommended for you. One thing I forgot to say is that I'm playing on competitive settings. Next, we are playing a really high demanding video game, Red Dead Redemption 2. We are playing this game at 1080p in high to ultra settings. And I'm actually really surprised since the FPS average for this game was well above 80 FPS, and this is great for a game like Red Dead Redemption 2, since of course you're not going to be competing like Fortnite, so you don't need to average more than 70 FPS. Another great thing is that it had no lag issues. Temperatures for this game were almost the same as Fortnite, from 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. So again, if you want to play Red Dead Redemption 2, this PC is highly recommended for you. For the next game, we are playing the latest Resident Evil, and this game was the most difficult game to run, but it averaged at around 65 FPS. So again, if you are not competing, 60 FPS average is really good for a gaming PC. Temperatures once again were from 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. Now for the last two games, I decided to stream with Streamlabs, so we can see how this one performs with one PC for streaming. First, we tested Valorant, where it went over 180 FPS average really easily. So for 144Hz monitor and Valorant, while streaming, this one will perform really well. So as you can tell, for competing, this PC build is more than enough. After that, we went to Warzone, where we got over 120 FPS average on high to medium settings. Again, if you lower the settings a little bit, you can get over 144 FPS really easily while streaming. And the last game we tested was GTA 5 at high settings. This one was over 80 FPS average, and you have to keep in mind that we were streaming and it was the last game we tested after more than 2 hours of playing every game. And after a long session of gaming, I'm going to let you hear if the fan was quiet or not. As you can tell, the fan was really quiet, and this was really positive since we were streaming and it was the last game we played. Temperatures for the whole test were great and didn't pass the 75 degrees average mark, so it will take a lot to actually damage this PC with overheating. So my final conclusion is that if you want to play high demanding video games and also competitive games, I highly recommend you building this PC. But I know that a lot of people prefer pre-built PCs because they don't want to build their own, they are scared, or they just don't want to pay anyone to build it. That's why I will leave you a link with a similar pre-built PC down below in the description as well, so you can have the same type of performance with a pre-built PC for a similar price. And if you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, please subscribe, but most importantly hit the bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content. I upload from 3 to 4 videos a week, so stay tuned if you're looking for your gaming PC. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.